very big winds here at the moment, so I am hoping that we don't get interruptions with the connection, fingers crossed, and it keeps us nice and together for the whole time. I don't think it'll be a very long one today because it is quite succinct, the topic that we talked about this week. But it's important, and it will become clear what the importance of it is towards the end. So, again, hi everybody, and welcome to the Field Notes Live here inside the Rewilding Circle. This is your free community, and please use it and delve into it as much as you feel like you need to or wish to. And ask any questions, either if it's on this subject or on any subject that you come across during your conversations, dialogues, interactions with your horses that you feel may be worth sharing within this group. It would be a pleasure to be able to help you through that. And like I always say, there's quite a few incredible minds, including yours, in this group. And we learn from each other all day, every day. So, with that said, this week we focused on one thing, and that was exploring the rhythm of the pause, of the notice, pause, adjust, and try again. And this is a rhythm of our conversations with our horses and interactions and dialogues with our horses that we are living, we are using, but sometimes subconsciously. And if we can put a little bit more thought into it, it would make our progress a lot easier and a lot stronger. But before we dive into the deeper reflection, I would like to start with some practical examples that I came across this week when I was interacting with some of the horses in my care. And this, I hope, will help you feel it right away, to actually understand that this is something that everybody, including myself and anybody, experiences if you're interacting with horses. So the first example was I was asking a horse, we were working on transitions, and the horse was hesitating a little bit. So in that moment, the first thing you do is you notice the hesitation. That is the first thing I did. I noticed that the horse was hesitating. And that brought me to a pause. And I always say, and I will never apologize for saying this over and over again, there is power in the pause. So pausing gives you that moment that is enabling you to adjust, because that is the big thing. It's a pausing to be able to read, what is the horse telling me? What is it that they're broadcasting? Why am I getting this hesitation? What is it within myself that I can adjust, that I can offer, that will help them through this moment? And it could be something as simple as maybe I need to soften my seat even more, or could I be waiting an extra second for the horse to organize themselves to truly understand what I'm asking? And from that, we try again, which is obviously the next step that comes within this rhythm. And when we do that, when we go through the notice and the pause and the adjust, the try again comes more easily. The second example was actually during working on the ground, my version of groundwork. And it was a horse that didn't give me the answer I expected, considering the question I was asking. And again, that was my first thing. I noticed. And important to note and to say is you notice without judgment. It's just noticing. This is what is occurring. That brings you to the pause, or brought me to the pause, to again ask myself those same questions. What can I do? What can I adjust? What can I take from the information the horse is giving me, and allowing myself a moment to sit with it before progressing? And by doing that, again, you can adjust in the way that you're asking the question. And this could be just in a timing issue, or in a presence issue? Are you actually in the moment with the horse when you're asking the question? Because quite a lot of the time we're not. And then you go to try again. And every one of these moments teaches both of us, both myself and the horse. Because this is a circular learning. This is a companionship learning. So what I would really love it if you would do for me is to think about a time recently, whether it was this week, because this is the topic we were talking about, or whether it was something in the past, where if you had followed this rhythm, how much better would the try again have been? Because that is what we need to be focusing on. To understand that if we're rushing and we're pushing and we're completely just thinking about the trying, the outcome, we're not giving ourselves or our horses the time enough to go through the noticing and the pausing and the adjusting. So right now I'd like to just slow it down a little bit and actually talk about each of those steps. And the first one is the notice. So what is it that I mean exactly by notice? I mean notice what actually is happening. Not what you hope would happen, not what you think should happen, but just what's there. Where is your horse's attention? Where is tension? Where is softness? How is your own body feeling in the moment? Are you holding your breath without realizing it? Are you leaning forward when your horse is asking for more space? Just notice the moment that is there. Then pause. So what do I mean by the pause? And I'm going to say it again. There is power in the pause. And it's not about 5 minutes. It's not about standing around and wondering that moment when you start pausing and you think, well, what should I be doing now? It is a micro moment. It could just be a breath, a quietening the urge to fix or control. Giving both yourself and your horse a tiny space to breathe and process is always going to help your progress in any conversation that you have. And when I talk about adjust, which obviously comes after noticing and pausing, what is this? This is about making subtle adjustments, the tiny moments, like I mentioned earlier. Maybe it's just slightly softening the cue. Maybe it is a release of some tension. Maybe your shoulders have crept up and you didn't realize, or you're holding your breath and you didn't notice. Those adjustments can have as much of an impact as the big adjustments in positioning or big flourishes of moments. Maybe you wait just 1 extra second for your horse to organize themselves, to make tiny changes that can completely shift that conversation. So when we come to the try again, which is the final step of this particular rhythm, it is about trying again in the moment. So not starting over. That is just going to keep you in a loop of drilling. And this isn't about drilling, notice, pause, adjust, try again, notice, pause, adjust, try again. No, it is by the time you get to the try again, you can try again. You can build on what you've already learned. And some of those repetitions, they're going to land beautifully, and some of them are going to be messy, and that's okay because both are valuable. The horse is learning from you and you are learning from the horse. And once we grasp that, the collaboration in this relationship, in this partnership, becomes so much more valuable. And the real depth here is this. It's not just about what the horse learns. It's about what you are learning and how you show up differently. To soften the pressure that you carry, to stay curious instead of frustrated, to become the steady presence your horse can rely on. And it looks really simple on paper. Notice, pause, adjust, try again. Really simple. And sometimes the most simple conversations we can have will have the most impact and increase the effects that we want to have on our horses or the horses in our care and on ourselves. But what's important is that we live it. living it, breathing it, and embodying it, that's where this practice, this connection, and the learning really happen. Now, this rhythm forms part of the foundations of horsemanship from nature. And it is going to be one of the things that we will be looking at and exploring in the clinic in Mijas in May. Now, you still have a couple of days to grab one of the last early booking guest places. So please, I'm going to put a link in the bottom of this so that you can take a look. And if you have any questions and you need any more information, whether it's about the clinic itself, the contents of the clinic, what you'll be learning, because it is a practical 2-day embodiment of horsemanship from nature, looking at all these rhythms that's going to help you win and your horse win together. Or if you need any help with where to stay, how to get there, then we can, I can help you with both of those. But if you want to contact Monica, and I'll also put her contact details in the comments, as the host, she has a better understanding of the area that she lives in and where the clinic will be held. Now, as always, if you have any questions on this topic, on this rhythm in particular, put them in the comments and I'd be happy to answer anything that you have, or you can put comments in the group, or play with this rhythm and come back to the group with your insights, with your thoughts, with your aha moments with your horses as you have taken this and lived this rhythm in the next conversation that you have with your horses. That's all I have to say today. So take care, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, wherever you are. Stay curious and ensure that your heart is full. Take care. Bye for now.